Hey guys, you guys are gonna be sick of me because this is like the third video I'm making today, but it's because I always I promised like I was gonna make like a video a week that it wasn't gonna be tarot related, and this is more like words just to inspire you guys because I've definitely been going through a phase like recently where like I really needed some inspiration myself, because sometimes you just go through stuff and there's things that you go through that can be completely unexpected. And the one thing that I've come to find in this life is that for me personally, I don't mind change when it's a change that I am making for myself, but I don't love it when the universe comes in and decides to switch things up. Like, I'm not that pleased sometimes when the universe decides to do that, even though it's not my place to really say that I'm not pleased with it, but still, sometimes these things they just happen and you can't do much about it. And so there's some events that have been happening where I just feel like for one reason or another, divine spirit has just said that certain situations have to end. And dealing with that kind of ending, it almost feels like the Tower card in the tarot. If you know what the tarot card can feel like, the tarot card can represent any experience that you are going through in your life that was very unexpected, that was completely out of the blue, and it just shatters like something that you thought was stable and solid now is just in 1,000 pieces. And that kind of experience can be really hard to go through because it can be that shocking. But the interesting thing I think about the tarot card is about the tower card is that it almost demonstrates that for one, nothing in this life is permanent, which in one way or another is a good thing, because the same way, where we can be happy when things are good and we can be sad when things are kind of crappy, it kind of shows that things always have to change and evolve. Nothing can just remain as it is. And so when you're going through your hardships, you can tell yourself, this isn't going to last forever, and trust, you know, trust in that, because more than likely it won't last forever. In most instances, you only have to go through that experience for a time and then you'll come out the other side of it. But I guess unfortunately for us, that also can happen with the good times too, that they can last for a time and then we have to go through our own experiences and come out the other side of that also. So it's it can be a difficult experience to go through that, but at the same time I think the another like wisdom that that card can provide is to say that nothing can last forever, but then at the same time it gives you the opportunity to now create something from the ground up that is more stable. Like if a certain situation wasn't stable, it will be broken down, it will be destroyed eventually. And when you think about it, that can apply to so many different aspects of life. Like for instance, you can have a friendship with somebody else, and if that friendship wasn't based on what a friendship should be based on, which should be about trust, which should be about loyalty, which should be about supporting each other, if there was little things, little digs or little issues in that relationship that, was always there, it one day will reach a point where everything will break apart, because it's almost like that foundation of that relationship, it wasn't based on what it should have been from the start. And so even if you was slyly thinking, okay, this person really probably isn't somebody that I should really be associating with or shouldn't really be that close to, because I'm not really sure about their intentions, sometimes we can go against how we feel instinctively, and we can still want to continue those relationships. But it's like it always comes a day when everything hits the fan and then it just separates. You and that person don't talk anymore, you've fallen out, something's happened, and you knew it from a very long time ago. But still, it's like the tower, that lightning bolt had to come and break everything up because you wasn't ready to release it, you wasn't ready to just be done with it all. And to be honest, even though it can be like hard to do it at the time, because if that person was like a close friend to you, you you might miss them, you might be mad at them and all this other stuff, but it kind of goes to show that now it's giving you space for something new to come in, and now it's also giving you an experience for you to learn from, and for you to know that, you know what, next time I'm not going to enter into a friendship like this, which is really good for you in terms of future relationships with friends and people that you have in your circle. And that's kind of a realization that I came to for myself, that sometimes even if you and a person are doing things together and or doing all that kind of stuff, sometimes it's just not supposed to be a certain way, and you have to be willing to release it when the universe says that, you know what, that this relationship has expired, like it's past its sell by date. Or maybe you just have to deal with this person accordingly. Maybe you're just not going to be on the kind of close level, but maybe you can just, I don't know, you can be cordial but at a distance kind of situation. So yeah, but another thing I wanted to say is, even in connection to that experience for me, another thing that it taught me was that sometimes there are going to be even people in your life or situations in your life that will try and trip you up, that will try to delay you from where you want to go and the things you want to achieve for yourself. But what I've come to realize is that, and this is something that I knew within myself, but sometimes when you are in that kind of difficult situation and things are just a mess, sometimes you just don't connect with that wisdom at the time when you most need it. But I remember somebody telling me, I can't remember who this person is now because my memory is a bit fuzzy like that. But I always remember good sayings though. That's one thing about my memory that is weird. When it comes to like a good old fashioned saying, I remember that, but I won't always remember like who said it or whatever. But um, what I do remember is that somebody told me that whatever is yours, whatever belongs to you, for you to have in this life, no one can ever take that away from you. No one can ever stop you from reaching whatever goal or whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever is made for you will always be yours. Whatever isn't made for you will fall by the wayside. But if there is something that you are really determined to achieve for yourself, it doesn't matter what kind of obstacles other people or whatever situation comes up, you will be able to get over those hurdles. And that's something that I've been able to see and witness right now, like in my own life, that even people that didn't show the support that I needed at that moment, it didn't matter. Like in the moment it mattered to me, but then after the fact I can see that, you know what, none of that really mattered, because they haven't stopped me from where I want to go and what I'm doing. They haven't stopped me in being successful and having my eyes on the prize and still being determined. And it's almost like now I can see myself almost at the finish line, at like when it comes to one phase of my life, and I can see that that is what is made for me. That's made for me because of the fact that I've put in the work to get to that finish line and to complete it and to go on to the next phase of life. Because for me, that's what I enjoy so much. And it's so interesting that in the reading that I did for you guys today, there was the 10 card, and the 10 card was followed up with an ace card, which is like 1. And 10 and 1 are very interesting numbers, because 10 is when you've completed a cycle and 1 is when you've entered into the new cycle, the new phase. And to me, I love that period. I love that period of something completing, especially when it comes to achievements in your life or goals that you've set, when you can put a close to one chapter and then open up a new one for yourself that is even better based on the old one that you've created already. And for me, it's like that kind of transition, that transformational phase is something that is it shows your process, it shows your development, it shows your strength, it shows your hard work, your drive, and your commitment. And when you have all of that going for you, it's like not even that lightning bolt in a tower will be able to destroy what it is that you have created for yourself. because that will be yours. That's your situation. That's for you. I feel like the only time things are destroyed is when that thing, it wasn't meant to be there in the first place. And probably more than likely that thing was hindering you because it was old, it wasn't necessary anymore, it wasn't useful anymore. And there's so many instances where we do that. It's almost like a child, like you know when children kind of, they have like an old raggedy toy that they just used to carry around with them for like ages. Like some kids are like that, or old blanket and stuff that they carry around with them. And sometimes the blanket can be so tatty and ratty and everything, but just for that comfort level, because that's what they're used to, that's what they want, that's what they walk around with. But I think, and when we're an adult, we can do that same thing, but it's not a blanket anymore or a ratty old toy. It can be people, it can be our work situation, it can be relationships, even romantic relationships, things that you just know have served their cause, but you're just not ready to let go of because of some kind of comfort or some kind of familiarity that it has. And what I would tell anyone that is going through any kind of transformations in their life, or going through anything that is feeling like, oh my gosh, like this situation is either leaving me or whatever, and you're finding it difficult to go through that process, I would definitely say is be present in that process. And what I mean about being present is stay in the moment. Don't try to take yourself out of it. Like, don't try to hold on to it. Don't try to control it. If it's meant to be released, just let it go. Even if it makes you cry, even if it makes you sad, even if it makes you want to just pick up something and throw it, you know, don't try to hold on, or don't try to force something that is already being released. Just let it go, because that's what has to happen. And more than likely, it will cause you even more pain if you try to hold on to the situation. I feel like it's not to say that everything that is challenging you should just let go of. Some things are worth fighting for. Some things you can work out. Like I said, even in that reading, sometimes even a relationship, or because you and your partner don't get on, doesn't mean that you instantly have to separate. Sometimes you can have a conversation and sit down and just, mend things that way. Sometimes you have to do that. But I think there's a difference between having to work out differences and just sort of getting to that point where just the two of you just know, like, this just is not happening between the two of us. And I think when you get to that place, that's when you know that, you know what, something has to give in this situation. But like I said, this advice I'm giving you can apply to anything, because there's so many things that we hold on to. And definitely I feel like it's important to kind of let go for you to move into sort of that new stage of life. And I feel like that new stage can bring about so many other things for you, so many opportunities for you, so many just new prospects, just from releasing one thing that may have been just blocking you or hindering you, or just maybe creating some kind of negative space in your energy. um and then, like, when you get to shifting it and you can get to kind of release that, it can open up so many other things. So yes, that's just my little video based on my own experiences. So I'll see you guys. Take care. Bye.